We're going to answer some questions today. Anything that's on your mind, please leave in the comments section. Your questions to me are like a cool breeze on a warm summer's day. Let's get to it. Thank you for all your videos, man. Much appreciated from many of us. What are some of your favorite effects and pedals? I'll probably do a separate video coming up sometime soon, just going through the whole pedal board, but if I had to pick just one to kind of put in the Pedal Hall of Fame, it would have to be the Electro Harmonix Big Muff. Again, I'm more of a rock guy, born and bred, and this was one of the first pedals I actually got once I got from going to like a combo amp with a bunch of different things to like a nicer tube amp that I could just use pedals with. And man, the Big Muff is just so awesome. If you don't know what it is, it's a fuzz pedal, and it's pretty reasonably priced. It's super famous. They've got a bunch of different iterations as they've gone throughout the days, and it's really simple. You can get just like crazy, creamy fuzz tones from it. I love it. The only awkward part is asking your mom for a Big Muff for Christmas, which is kind of an uncomfortable thing to do. Another one that's really awesome is the ZVEX Fuzz Factory. Again, I'm just kind of like showcasing fuzz pedals right now. As far as like distortion and overdrive, I think that amp distortion for the most part can't be beat. That's my favorite type of distortion. So when I think of distortion in a pedal form, I usually kind of gravitate towards like a fuzz type pedal. The Fuzz Factory is kind of like the Big Muff on steroids. It's just, it's hard to tame, but once you get the hang of it, it's a little bit of a cleaner fuzz, if that makes any sense. But yeah, effects pedals, you can just go on and on. I know a lot of people have been asking for like different demos and stuff, so I'll probably start doing those soon. But I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to the Big Muff and the Fuzz Factory. Do you like Smashing Pumpkins? Yeah, for sure. Smashing Pumpkins are awesome. I think, I mean, Billy Corgan, what else can you really say about him? One of the main reasons I like Smashing Pumpkins, though, is actually a guy who does not get enough credit, and that is Jimmy Chamberlin, one of the all-time great rock drummers in history. I'm going to link you to a B-side track called Set the Ray to Jerry, and it's like the nastiest drum track you will ever hear, and it's something that inspired me personally just to become a better drummer, because you really kind of find the effect that a great drummer has on a solid rock band, especially with Billy's kind of like writing style, where it's kind of riffy for sure, like kind of like a riff chord pattern, and the drums really just kind of glue the whole thing together. And I think he's just like a super underrated component of what's really one of the great rock bands in American history. What do you think is the most important thing for an intermediate guitar player to learn? Also, how do you stay so fit and handsome at your age? Stop it with the fit and handsome thing, you're embarrassing me. Intermediate guitar player, that's kind of like an interesting term. Like, what makes a beginner guitar player, an immediate, advanced, you know, the labels and things of that nature. I really think that the step from intermediate to advanced for most people, because it's different for everybody, but for most people I think is purely like a mental thing. Like if you think of like an intermediate guitar player, if you think of yourself as an intermediate guitar player, that means you can do some cool stuff, right? You can probably do some pretty fast, like hammer-on, pull-off type things, maybe some scale stuff, be able to kind of play solos that you've heard in different songs, some kind of more complicated bar chords, stuff like that. So when you think of like the hardest thing that you can play, and think of like how fast that is, or kind of like the hand shapes that you get in. And I think if you can kind of like apply that same technique in a thoughtful, concentrated way throughout the fretboard, to me, that's what makes an advanced player. So when I think of like an advanced player, I think of someone who can see the fretboard and know exactly where they are and everything, just to kind of like mentally picture, like in any key, right? There's 7 good notes and 5 bad notes. And really, guitar playing or playing any instrument just comes down to hitting the good notes when you want to and avoiding the bad notes when you want to a certain extent. So I think to be an advanced player is just to have, in any key, all those 7 notes light up in your mind up and down the fretboard. And different guitar players kind of achieve this in different ways. Like some people are really more into like scales and kind of seeing different scale shapes all throughout and navigating between them. Other people like kind of like arpeggio stuff more and kind of make those connections that way. Other people maybe gravitate towards chords a little bit more and connecting chord shapes. I really think it is a combination of those 3 things that will make you see the fretboard, because like I said, when you're an intermediate player, you can probably do some pretty cool stuff, and the technique might not be what's holding you back. It's all just kind of like a mental game, and being able to see what you're doing and have a game plan for what you want to do, whether you're writing something or just kind of playing through a song or whatever. So you're in luck, because one of my main goals for this channel is to kind of help people in any style of learning kind of navigate through those three things and see the fretboard in that way where they can kind of just feel more comfortable with the instrument and really become like an advanced player. So for listening homework this week, I want to do a shout out to a band called Jamiroquai. A lot of you may be familiar with these guys. In the United States especially, they seem to be kind of like a one-hit wonder. But overseas and pretty much everywhere else in the world that has good taste in music, these guys are huge. And specifically what I want you to listen to is kind of like a neo-funk guitar style that is not really too difficult. It's just more like voicings like on the higher part of the neck on the thinner strings. And also too, another thing, especially for, I'm going to link you to two videos. The music videos are great, by the way. This is kind of like the all-time party music videos, which, what else do you really want from a music video than just throw in like a banging party? But listen to the bass player, especially for Love Philosophy. I think that's one of the greatest bass funk riffs, if you even want to call it a riff, of all time. It's a guy named Stuart Zender, who was their bass player for most of the band's tenure, or for the better part, in my opinion, of the band's tenure. But yeah, check out Jamiroquai, 7 Days in Sunny June, appropriately titled, and also Love Philosophy. And also, please remember, any question, comments you have, hit me up. Thanks a lot.